There's lots. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the May 27th regular meeting of Council. I'd like to first recognize that we are gathered on the traditional territory of the Snuneymuxw First Nation. Our clerk tonight will be Ms. Sheila Gurry. We also have in attendance tonight electronically Councillor Perino. Tonight's regular meeting of Council is being held in accordance with the Community Charter and Council Procedure Bylaw 2018, number 7272. So if during the meeting any member of the gallery has a question regarding an agenda item, please write your name and the agenda item on the question sign-up sheet, which is on the table by the double doors to my left. Please note that questions are for agenda items only. Before we start the meeting, I would like to take a few minutes to remind those who are attending in person about the rules of decorum for all council and committee meetings. A meeting of council is intended to be a safe place where democracy can freely take place in a respectful and safe manner. The council chambers is a workplace, and there are considerations council and staff must make to ensure that a safe work environment exists in accordance with WorkSafe BC regulations. To support this, disrespectful conduct will not be tolerated, so we ask that there be no cheering or jeering or other outbursts from the gallery at any time. This will ensure that anyone speaking, whether it be a delegation, member of council, or staff, is not interrupted and can make their point freely without distraction or fear of ridicule. In instances where a speaker is being inappropriate or has exceeded their time limit, their microphone will be cut off. Similarly, if there are outbursts by any person in the gallery, they will be asked to stop, and if they do not comply, they may be asked to leave as permitted under Section 133 of the Community Charter. If necessary, Council may call a recess in order to reset the environment of the Council chambers. It is our belief that if everyone is respectful of these basic considerations, this meeting and future meetings will be more effective in furthering the business of the City of Nanaimo. And the first item on the agenda is the introduction of late items. Ms. Gurry, and we do have one.
Yes, thank you, Your Worship, and good evening, Council. For late items tonight, we have agenda item 13C, Zoning Amendment Bylaw 2023, number 4500.215, and that's it, Your Worship.
Thank you very much. A motion for adoption of the agenda is amended. Moved Councillor Thorpe, seconded Councillor Armstrong. All those in favour? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Motion for adoption of the minutes is circulated. Moved Councillor Thorpe, seconded Councillor Hemmons. All those in favour? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Before I begin the Mayor's report, Mr. Lindsay, is Mr. Corson about? Mr. Corson, please. I mentioned some time ago in the in-camera meeting, and I know that you're a modest person, will find this challenging, I'm sure, but it is well known at City Hall that Mr. Corson is leaving the City of Nanaimo for another employer. I won't mention the name of the CEO of that employer, who was forever off my Christmas card list as a result of his snatching away Mr. Corson, but that's a story for another day. I just want to say on behalf of the City of Nanaimo and Council that in your over 14 years, getting on to 15 at some point, and then in a few months, of service to this city, you have developed a reputation for competence, integrity, hard work. You have personified the best in the public service that we can ever hope for in any community. I sincerely say on behalf of Council, we regard it as a great loss. Take some confidence in the fact that nothing is permanent, however, in this life. And perhaps at some point in the future, there may be other opportunities for you. But you have carried some very heavy files for this council, and I know for previous councils. You have worked in this city through some of the most challenging times that the city ever faced in terms of governance and the behaviors that were both public and private. Survived that and always gave your full devotion to duty to the City of Nanaimo. So I appreciate, and I want to make it clear, lest any member of the gallery misunderstand, Council is allowed to clap for people that it wishes to recognize, but not the gallery. And so, Mr. Corson, I just want to make it very clear to you tonight, we are very much appreciative of this. We wish you well.
Thanks very much, Your Worship. Much appreciated.
Thank you. On the more mundane, the annual Health Among Us week was back. And I want to pay thanks to the school district and to the city staff who organized events that involved the participation of approximately 3,000 children between kindergarten and grade 5 over the course of the week. Between Monday, May 13th and Friday, May 17th, it was a tremendous success. Mr. Harding, I think a number of your folks were very much involved in that, and again, wish to express thanks on behalf of council and again to the school board. That kind of partnership is a positive event, good for kids and good for the community. We're also on the health theme. Spring Go By Bike Week is cycling into Nanaimo. Join us on June the 2nd from 4 to 6 p.m. for a kickoff and bike drive at Maffeo Sutton Park. There will be a number of various locations and celebration stations set up during the week, hosted by many gracious sponsors. You can plan your bike routes accordingly so you can stop in to say hello and to enter to win prizes. June the 3rd, 7:30 to 9:30 a.m., Metral Drive at Moss Star Road. June the 4th, 4 to 6 p.m., Lower Colliery Dam. June the 5th, 7:30 to 9:30 a.m., E&N at Giggleswick Place across from Tim Hortons at Brooks Landing. June the 6th, 4 to 6 p.m. at the Stevie Smith Bike Park. June the 7th, 4 to 6 p.m. at the Front Street at Museum Way. And June the 8th, 3 to 5 p.m. at Westwood Lake Beach. As a reminder to everybody, just because it's Bike to Work Week doesn't mean you shouldn't be considering doing this all year round. It's a smart and healthy way to get anywhere in our town and encourage you to participate. On behalf of the council and the many citizens, particularly the younger citizens who enjoyed the benefit of it, I want to pay thanks to Mr. Sims and Public Works. All the city staff who participated in the Public Works Yard Tour for both grade 4s and the public during Public Works Week. The theme was advancing the quality of life for all, dedicated to improving the quality of life for its citizens to live, work, and play. I and a number of members of council were there and participated. It was an enthusiastic group of young people, and some adults got a chance when they accompanied them, as well as later in the day, to understand the importance of public works and to get a look at the facilities and consider the amazing variety of the tasks that are undertaken every day and 24/7 every day by the public works staff. So to Mr. Sims, thank you to you and your team, and please express council's gratitude. That is all I have for the mayor's report. Ms. Gurry, I don't think we have anything to rise and report at this stage. We have no presentations. We have committee minutes just for receipt. A motion for adoption of all of the consent items, save one which is separately addressed, which is C1. So moved. Moved by Councillor Thorpe, seconded Councillor Hemmens. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. And the final one is the Community Environmental Sustainability Grant Part 2. And that's that council approve the following Community Environmental Sustainability Project Grant. And Councillor Kesselbrock.
Yeah, just family members on the board, so I'll sit out for this one.
Stepping out for the conflict. Thank you very much. I'll give Councillor Kesselbrock a minute to leave. Moved by Councillor Hemmens, seconded Councillor Eastmere. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Someone can make sure Councillor Kesselbrock gets back in. And now we have delegations unrelated to agenda items. The first is Dan Hula, re-improving the democratic process at the municipal level. Mr. Hula, I think you know the drill. You'll have 5 minutes. At 4 minutes in, I will let you know you have a minute left. And if you can introduce yourself for the record, please. I would remind you, Mr. Hula, it's a delegation to council. It's not showtime.
Just move that chair
If you'd introduce yourself for the record and get on with it, please.
No hurry, thank you. There. Just wait, I better move closer here because we have to share this. I'm Dan Hula, and we haven't been here for a while, so we thought we'd spice it up for you a little bit. Seeing as May was Poetry Month, so we're going to pay tribute to the arts. This presentation includes a satire to introduce the concepts to be addressed near the end of our 5 allotted minutes. We will state our requests clearly at the end. This hyper-novelty production is a cautionary tale set in the mythical kingdom of Nemo. This is a work of fiction, and any similarity to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidental. The characters are the king, King Klaus, and his royal advisor, Harriet Harari.
Your Highness, I have returned from my reconnaissance mission. Apparently, in 2024, royalty is out, especially after King Charles blew all that money on that super creepy portrait of himself. We desperately need a rebrand, and I have the solution: a democracy.
What? Are you crazy? I am not prepared to give up any power.
But Your Majesty, that's the thing. You don't have to. We'll have elections, but we'll use rigging voting machines and tabulation software. Give multiple ballots to those friends who you know will vote for you for sure, and I will do the counting of the ballots in secret and not have to show anyone the results. They'll just have to take my word for it.
Okay, well, I like that. Maybe we can have election slogans like crush rebels opposing globalism or surveillance instead of meddlesome mothers. Okay, say you do get me a facade of willfully blind counselors who just toe the party line. What about the day-to-day running of the kingdom? Even after we have complicit allies in place, likely suffering from mass formation psychosis or cognitive dissonance, in a democracy, don't the peasants have some sort of say?
Yes, my lord. We can work around that by hiring many layers of bureaucracy to disguise the decision-making process. I have made contacts with powerful, like-minded organizations who are more than willing to provide all the necessary policies to create the surveillance and control you desire. Rubber stamp and sign, and you and your council won't even have to do any thinking.
I love it! But I want a fail-safe built in. When things get a little hot or I need a major diversion, I want to be able to shut everything down by declaring some kind of emergency.
Again, no problem, Your Greatness. Our friends have already considered this, and the solutions is to choose an emergency, one that's hard to prove or disprove, and people will just go along with it. And, things like invisible, things like viruses, climate change, and all kinds of disinformation.
Okay, but how do I pay for all this? Just keep raising taxes? Won't the peasants get suspicious?
Your Eminence, if we implement mega projects, they will leave so much wiggle room that you can slip in all kinds of budget items, like data centers and managed citizen surveillance. Do you like it, Your Worship?
Do I like it? Now that's a question worthy of an answer, because I get to decide things like that. All right, I'm in. Now shut up and go. You know I can't stand the sound of anyone else's voice for 5 minutes. Now, the concerns regarding elections are not only valid, but the issues that we mentioned about election interference have been proven in many courts recently. There is no semblance of democracy if the basic concept of fair and completely transparent elections is not honored. To this point, we request Council not to use any voting machines in any election from this point forward.
1 minute.
And to allow and encourage a legitimate public scrutiny process. We request that the city, for any AAPs or referendums, have open counting of ballots and votes with public scrutineers. We are allowed to go beyond the provincial minimum requirements of having one person count in private and not even have to give proof of results. For all you watching, you can take a little time to look into this further. You can look on Facebook at the Con Oversight Committee.
I don't have a camera.
Okay. And we're done early. Thank you.
We're back.
Any questions?
No.
Really? Just like the last 3 times. Thank you anyways.
The next delegation is Alan Clark, re City of Nanaimo bylaw 7350 and number 7348. And please spare, look, if you don't be quiet, I'll have you removed from the council chambers. Thank you. Mr. Clark? If you would introduce yourself for the record, please, and you'll have 5 minutes. When you're in 4 minutes, I will give you the 1 minute warning.
Mr. Crow, before you start the clock, on the point of order, as you know, I'm going to talk about the bylaws related to the oath of office and the code of conduct, and your failure to abide to both on numerous occasions. I respectfully request that you step down from the chair for my presentation.
Thanks very much for your request. I respectfully deny it. Your 5 minutes are starting.
Well, don't quite start it yet, because I'm now going to ask somebody in council put a motion on the floor to remove you from the chair for my presentation, because you have been vagrantly breaking the code of ethics, cutting me off, not allowing me to speak, when I've never been rude to you or anything. You just don't like to be criticized. Well, today I'm going to point out exactly where you have been violating those bylaws. So is there anybody on the floor that would like to, on the council, that would like to put a motion on the floor, please? You've all witnessed what happened. Nobody. So just one last thing before I start actually talking. As the mayor is still going to be chairing my time, I want to note that should the mayor violate any of the 2 bylaws, which includes bullying, intimidation, verbal aggression, making derogatory comments, denying my right to speak, that he be warned regarding his conduct, and be removed by security should he continue. I want that noted, please. Okay, would you mind please resetting the clock?
You have 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes left.
Please reset the clock, sir, because this is
You have
a valid
3.5
point
minutes left,
of
Mr.
order.
Clark.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. You've constantly broken bylaw number 7348, section 313 A and B, abuse of office and breach of your oath of office. Section 1.4D, member conduct. Section 2.1, which includes integrity, honesty, making decisions in the best interest of the community, respecting the public, and allowing for respectful discourse and feedback. And none of that's happened. I appeal to the council, I'm going to have to cut this short because of my time. I appeal to the council on May the 6th, 2024. And 3 minutes into my presentation, you interrupted me. No reason except you didn't like my topic. And you said it wasn't the place. It was about the provincial government. You said this was not the forum. Everything that they do, sir, affects Nanaimo, most of it negatively. Well, you know, there are other councils that fight back, including Parksville, for example, with short-term rentals. They fought back against the provincial government and got an exemption for their people because they were working in their interests. You know, I could go on. You know, you're not very kind by not just, this is your defense system, and I really object to it by not resetting the clock. Because you, in the second part of that meeting on May the 6th, you interrupt me again when I criticized you. You were bullying, intimidating, threatening. This was you, Mr. Mayor. And I did nothing. I just wanted to present my case. Right in the code of conduct, it says I should have a fair hearing. I should not be interrupted by a mayor who thinks he's above the law and above the code of conduct. Oh, I still got a minute, dang. Well, it's not what I wrote something that was 4 minutes long, but I can freely talk. because I'm actually disgusted
You have
with...
1 minute.
Excuse me, sir. I'm disgusted with your blatant, I say blatant, disregard for your oath of office and for your code of conduct. You have threatened people. You have intimidated people. Besides me, I see it all the time. So yes, sir, you don't like it? Well, I think something has to be done. And there's two things, I got 33 seconds. So here's two things I'd like. I'd like council to put a motion on the floor that the mayor is removed until there's some remedial action is taken that he's not abusive with his power. Secondly, as you know, I'm in Chase River, and for the good of the community, which is written right into the code of conduct, I would like to see council make a motion that you talk to the provincial government about making that facility drug-free.
Wrap up, Mr. Clark. Your time is up.
Yeah, so I would love questions. You know, I'm really upset, and I'm not going to let it go because
Mr. Clark.
I know, but sir, you just sit there smugly.
You have had your 5 minutes, sir.
No, I didn't have my 5 minutes.
Yes,
I had 3 minutes, sir. And the fact that you're still sitting in that chair is a disgrace when I'm making my presentation.
Mr. Clark, the mic is off. I'm going to ask you to stop, please.
Where do you think you get off, sir? Stopping me in the middle of...
Mr. Clark, you have had your 5 minutes. That is what the rules provide. Mr. Clark, you are interrupting council's business now. Yes, you are, sir. Ms. Gurry? Yes, we certainly do. I'm calling a recess. Thank you.
Your worship, your worship.
Ms. Gurry? Ms. Gurry?
Your worship, I was just going to say under section 133, as you did last time Mr. Clark was here, you could have him, ask him to leave now, and then we could have the recess.
I'm going to ask you to leave, Mr. Clark. Leave the chambers, please.
You cannot physically remove me. You cannot physically remove me.
Well, Mr. Clark, I guess we're going to find out at some point tonight, aren't we?
Yes, we are, sir. And it does not absolve you.
Council is recessed.
You've done so.
This is the 2018 redux of the lighting at Nanaimo's historic bastion. I've had the pleasure of being part of the relighting project on this amazing building in downtown Nanaimo. So what we did is we've replaced the original high pressure sodium lights, which basically did an okay job of lighting up the bottom 10 feet of the building, and replaced them with modern LED lighting that has the capacity to change color. We can run through a number of different colors that we have pre-programmed here, in a pink, a purple, a green. Probably my favorite on here is Rainbow Chase for Pride Week. It'll actually run all the way around the building all the time.
With this new technology, organizations can now request that the bastion be lit to promote their cause by going to the City of Nanaimo website and following the instructions. Go to Your Government, Bastion Lighting Requests, complete the lighting request form, and submit. You will hear from us within a couple days if your request has been approved, and the bastion will be lit in the colors that you have requested. If you have any questions, please contact the Mayor's office at 250-755-4400.
So the next time you're in downtown Nanaimo at night, come on and check out the new dynamic lighting at the Bastion.
Hey, Tiana. Hey. It sure is the coldest rink in town.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, buddy! Nice save, James!
Wow, your goalie is keeping you guys in the game. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, man, that's hot.
Sorry, that's the way I like it. Oh. Go, 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 go! Penalty shot!
Scalds from hot drinks are a leading cause of hospitalization for children under 5.
2 minutes, down in the front, unsportsmanlike conduct.
Hot tea and coffee will cause serious burns to a child in less than a second.
Got a kid? Use the lid.
You are looking at Unit 400 from the City of Nanaimo Public Works Department. This truck is called our paint truck. It puts down most of the center line in the City of Nanaimo. Right now on the back, we have Holly. Today she is in charge of keeping the line straight. She can move the wheel back and forth, right or left, which controls this paint gun. And then right behind the paint system, there's a glass beads that are dispensed onto the fresh wet paint for retroreflectivity at night. The painted lines can last 1 or 2 years. Most center lines in Nanaimo are painted every year. The white crosswalks and stop bars in thermoplastic can last anywhere from 2 to 7 years, depending on traffic flow. And on the back here, Derek will be kind enough to be dropping cones onto the fresh wet paint so vehicles do not drive over it. There's a lot of moving parts, high pressure, traffic, a lot of things going on at one time, and we're all working together. There's a lot of prep work before to make the lines straight. There's a lot of pulling of lines. Most of our equipment has guidelines and markers. It's a very rewarding job working for the Public Works Department. Lots of things go on and you stay in touch with the heartbeat of our city.
We're here today to make a couple street names. There was some vandalism in town, and we're just going to make replacements. In the roads today, we're doing our Dundas Street and Bruce Avenue. They're all 8-inch, and we use 3 different sizes, mostly 24-inch, 32-inch, and 36-inch. We do use a consistent font with street names. This is actually my metal blank, so the only material here is the material that I actually will cut out in vinyl. From here, we have to take out the vinyl that's not needed, which is the outer. So all we want to do is save the inside borders. From here, we actually have to put a transfer tape on it. And what this does is it allows us to take the blue vinyl and pull it away from the clear backing that it's on, so we can apply it to our aluminum blank. Now that we have our 2 sheeted piece of vinyl, we take our aluminum blank, which has high intensity diamond grade, which you can see behind me. We have all different colors. We have orange, yellow, white, depending on the type of signs. Most of our white signs are regulatory, and the yellow ones are warning signs. And right here, all I'm doing is pushing the transfer tape a little tighter to the vinyl. And then from there, we peel it back, our plastic, which basically leaves us with a big sticker. We put it on the aluminum. And when we're done here, we take our transfer tape off, and as you can see, we're left with Dundas.
We're here at Bruce and Dundas. Somebody's stolen the street names that were here, so we're here to replace them. Our sign shop has just generated us 2 signs, so I'm going to go through the process of putting it together and reinstalling the street names. First thing, we got to center the signs. We do everything on this truck. We've got all the equipment on here to build, install, remove, repair, whether it's street signs, street names, posts, banners, Christmas decorations, and so forth. I'm going to basically just put the sign in the brackets, and we'll be doing both signs, of course. So I've got a cross bracket that I'm going to put in, and then add the top sign, which is this street we're on, Dundas. Sorry, do the same there. We put the street that we're coming up to on the bottom, so they all basically have the same. The cross street will be on the top. We got to put some bolts in to secure them so nobody will steal the street name. We're ready to go. I'll just put this back and we'll go out and install this where the missing one is. Every year we do what we call a stop sign survey, where we go around and check all the stops. We clean them, make sure they're in the right spots, in good condition, not bent, and we also clean the street names, make sure they're good. As we're doing that, if there's ones that we decide we want to replace, we do that at that time. This year we're looking at approximately about 120 sets. It's very expensive to do, but we're continually, weekly changing street names because of either them getting damaged or people breaking them and taking them. So I'll put this on, and then I put a bolt through to secure it to the post. There we go. And that's good, we're done. Dundas and Bruce Ave are now ready to go.
This is the 2018 redux of the lighting at Nanaimo's historic bastion. I've had the pleasure of being part of the relighting project on this amazing building in downtown Nanaimo. So what we did is we've replaced the original high pressure sodium lights, which basically did an okay job of lighting up the bottom 10 feet of the building, and replaced them with modern LED lighting that has the capacity to change color. We can run through a number of different colors that we have pre-programmed here in a pink, a purple, a green. Probably my favorite on here is Rainbow Chase for Pride Week. It'll actually run all the way around the building all the time.
With this new technology, organizations can now request that the bastion be lit to promote their cause by going to the City Nanaimo website and following the instructions. Go to Your Government, Bastion Lighting Requests, complete the lighting request form, and submit. You will hear from us within a couple days if your request has been approved, and the bastion will be lit in the colors that you have requested. If you have any questions, please contact the Mayor's office at 250-755-4400.
So the next time you're in downtown Nanaimo at night,
First item, following the delegations unrelated to agenda items.
Shame, shame, shame. Your mother's crying. All laughing. Wow. You were sparking when you Wow.
Madam, if you don't be quiet, I'm going to ask that you be removed from this chamber or remove yourself. It's your call. We are not going to turn this council meeting into a political circus for narrow, politically motivated actions that have nothing to do with this council. The next item is political signage regulation amendment bylaw. Ms. Gurry, please. And I apologize to you, Ms. Gurry, for the abuse you took from a certain individual tonight who's no longer in this chamber. It is absolutely unmerited. And the criticism of this staff or any members of this council is not going to be tolerated. Ms. Gurry.
Thank you, Worship. This report in front of you is an amendment bylaw to the political signage regulation bylaw, and it is to present housekeeping amendments to that bylaw and clarify that regulations associated with political signage with the provincial highway rights of way are governed by the Ministry of Transportation and Infrastructure. And Ms. Robertson is here if there's any questions, but I'm not going to do a presentation this evening.
Thank you very much, Ms. Robertson. If I can phrase it simply, this is to ensure that there's less confusion in understanding the bylaw by people who rely on its sections so they understand the difference between highways regulation and city street regulation.
That's correct. And I just should say that the reason we had the phrase in there that indicated in addition to the provisions contained in this bylaw, which is really to help ensure that candidates knew that there were other provisions in the bylaw that would be applicable to them, such as signage deposit, etc. But unfortunately, what we also did was tie the sign size regulations, and so we just need to clarify that. So that's the intent of this. It's a pretty minor.
Thanks very much. We have Councillor Thorpe and then Councillor Freeman, please.
Thank you very much, Your Worship, through you, Ms. Robertson. Thank you for this. I just want to be very, very clear, because I was somebody who was inadvertently confused in the last election regarding the size allowed signage, and I wouldn't want that to happen again the next time around. So when it refers on page 81 of my report to signs must be 0.4 meters squared and in brackets 4 feet squared for private property, that means 4 square feet, not 4 by 4, 4 foot square, which is where I went wrong. So could I just get clarification on that, please?
I always love looking to our engineering department to meters squared. and I always forward calculators, so it's easy to discern in that regard. So we've got 6.5 feet squared. And for the provincial, it includes to the size regulations of 6.5 feet squared in that section of the bylaw. But I like feet and inches myself. So Perhaps Mr. Sims can help clarify the difference between the meter squared.
See, my confusion stemmed from the fact that I read it previously as meaning 4 by 4 foot square. And I was told subsequently that no, it was meant to read or be interpreted as 4 square feet, 2 by 2. Mr. Sims.
Your Worship, 4 square feet would be, for example, 2 by 2. That's how this violation is.
All right. Now I know. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Roberts.
If we're clear as can be, is there anyone wish to make the recommended motion? Will Councillor Manley?
Sorry, Your Worship, it's a bylaw.
Oh yes, it's got to be read. Councillor Perino.
Thank you, Your Worship, and just wanted to make a comment to you. Just want to thank Ms. Gurry for this work because it was very confusing, and I know that several candidates who were in the election, struggled with this. So the only thing that I would suggest is that you might want to do some sort of, because people can take different designs, maybe have some pictures and, some ideas for people so they know what they're looking at. So I just want to say I'm glad to see this. Thank you so much, and hope we do better next time.
Very good, Councillor Esselbrock.
I'd like to move political signage regulation and bylaw 2024, number 733501, a bylaw to amend the provision associated with political signage and provincial highway rights of way, pass first reading.
Second, Councillor Manley. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Councillor Esselbrock.
Move political signage regulation amendment bylaw 2024, number 7335.01, pass second reading.
Second, Councillor Emmons. Any discussion? Not seeing any. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries.
Move that political signage regulation amendment bylaw 2024, number 7335.01, pass third reading.
Seconded, Councillor Thorpe. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you. We're on to 12B, potential road closure and land exchange, 2300 Northfield Road. And Mr. Corson, please.
Great, thanks, Your Worship. We're just going to pull up attachment A here to illustrate what we're hoping to achieve tonight. So I think Council is aware that we've been working on the Midtown Gateway project for over a decade now. And over the last 3 years, we've installed the utilities and we have the base of the road formed. This year, the actual works are taking place, the paving will start, and we have a new connection road from top of Boxwood, Northfield through to the Beverly Park entrance. As we're working on this project, we're improving the road circulation. In some cases, we need to acquire property from people. And on this particular property, this is the car wash on Northfield Road. People are probably familiar with it. And the city requires 40.6 square meters to improve the road. And the owner has the opportunity to acquire 40.6 square meters from the city. So this is a land exchange where we're trading equal amounts of land with each other. And through this process, we need to do a road closure process and then a land exchange. So that's what we have set out for you. If council wishes to proceed tonight, we'll come back at third reading for your approval in the future. So happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Mr. Corson? Not seeing any. Councillor Kesselbrock?
I'd like to move the recommendation. Council authorize the road closure and disposition of a portion of Northfield Road and direct staff to enter into.
I don't know, you people just eat.
Sir, remove yourself from the
I'm leaving.
Good, thank you very much. This is costing taxpayers a lot of money to have its time wasted tonight by ridiculous interruptions and ridiculous allegations. Good night. Sorry, Councillor Kesselbrock, you finish.
Okay. Move that council authorize the road closure and disposition of a portion of Northfield Road and direct staff to enter into a road closure and land exchange agreement.
Second, Councillor Thorpe. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Councillor Kesselbrock.
Move that highway closure and dedication removal bylaw 2024, number 7370, to provide highway closure and dedication removal of a portion of Northfield Road adjacent to 2300 Northfield Road, pass first reading.
Second, Councillor Thorpe. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries.
Move that highway closure and dedication removal bylaw 2024, number 7370, pass second reading.
Second, Councillor Thorpe. Any discussion? Not seeing any. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you.
Move that council direct staff proceed with public notice for the closure and disposition of a portion of Northfield Road.
Second, Councillor Thorpe. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. The next is 12C, Municipal Highway Naming and Renaming Boxwood Road and Powder Works Road bylaws 2024, number 7378 and 7379. Mr. Corson again, please.
Great, thanks, Your Worship. If we could bring up so sticking with the same theme in this area of town, with the Midtown Gateway Project, we're seeking council's approval to rename, just road renaming on these new roads that we built. There we go. So right now, Boxwood Road is dedicated from Northfield Road all the way through to Rosstown. What we'd like to do as part of this project is name Boxwood Road up to the future roundabout, and then continue Boxwood through to the Bevan Park entrance. That'll be the main flow of traffic. And then from the roundabout north to Rosstown, staff are recommending that short segment of road be called Powder Works. And that's in the report. There's some history on that. It's an homage to the Hamilton Powder Company that used to operate in the Northfield area that produced chemicals for the dynamite for local mines. It also ties in with black powder in Sylvania as well. So just happy to answer any questions you have, Your Worship.
Thank you very much. I'm not seeing any questions. Councillor Gesselrock.
I would like to move that the Municipal Highway Renaming Powder Works Road bylaw 2024, number 7378, to provide for the renaming of municipal highways pass first reading.
Second, Councillor Armstrong. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries.
Move that the Municipal Highway Renaming Powder Works Road bylaw 2024, number 7378, pass second reading.
Second, Councillor Hemmings. Any discussion? Not seeing any. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries.
Move that the Municipal Highway Renaming Powder Works Road bylaw 2024, number 7378, pass third reading.
Seconded, Councillor Eastmere. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. The next is Municipal Highway Naming Bylaw. Councillor Gesselrock.
Move that Municipal Highway Naming Boxwood Road bylaw 2024, number 7379, to provide for the naming of municipal highways pass first reading.
Seconded, Councillor Thorpe. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries.
Move that the Municipal Highway Naming Boxwood Road bylaw 2024, number 7379, pass second reading.
Seconded, Councillor Thorpe. Any discussion? Not seeing any. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries.
I move that the Municipal Highway Naming Boxwood Road, number 2024, number 7379, pass third reading.
Seconded, Councillor Thorpe. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. On to 12D. Development permit application number DP 1320-307, 311, and 315 Holly Avenue. Mr. Holmes, please. Good evening.
Thank you, Your Worship and Council. This is a development permit on the corner of Holly and Rosedale. As you can see outlined, the properties outlined in red on the screen. The proposal is to consolidate 3 existing R8 zone properties that propose to be developed as 47 units in a 4-story building format. If you could bring up attachment D, please, so see the building design. So it's a contemporary design, a flat roof design. So some good infill in the 4-story building again. What's interesting too, it includes a number of predominantly 1 bedroom units proposed, but it does include a number of 2 2 and 3 bedroom units, which in an apartment form, you definitely need those to meet housing needs. A number of minor variances were proposed, a number of trellises, setback, minor variance to setback, minor variance to building height, and variance to portions of the landscape buffer. A good example of any development, well-designed consolidation under existing zoning. It's been through design panel with recommendations addressed through revisions. Happy to take any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions, Mr. Holm? Not seeing any. Councillor Easter moves the recommended motion. Seconded by Councillor Manley. Any discussion? Not seeing any. All those in favor? Again, any opposed? None. Motion carries. 12E, 2024 UBCM Community Excellence Awards. Again, Mr. Holm, please.
Thank you. This is an opportunity that staff saw for recognition for a number of for a framework, I guess, of documents that are the city plan collectively, the integrated action plan. So city plan denominated, reimagine, city's official community plan, and more of the long-term strategic planning document for the city for the next 25 years, as well as the integrated action plan to implement city plan and the monitoring strategy to monitor implementation of city plan. Staff saw an opportunity to apply to UBCM for a Community Excellence Award in Excellence in Sustainability category for the 2024 intake. The collective plans or documents represent a new organizational structure that demonstrates a commitment to ongoing integration and accountability and long-term planning for sustainability. Staff believe they're well worthy of recognition, put the application forward, and are required to supply a council resolution supporting the application. That's what's proposed here. I'm happy to take questions.
Thank you very much. Councillor Easter moves the recommended motion. Councillor Armstrong seconds. Not seeing any discussion. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Thank you. The next is F, increasing housing options in small-scale multi-unit housing. Mr. Holm, thank you. A short motion, a series of motions, but a big topic.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yes, it is a big topic covered at Council May 6th. The approach to address, the city's approach to address the provincial requirements under the small-scale multi-unit housing initiatives, Bill 44. Requirements require zoning bylaw amendments to be adopted before the end of June 30th to support 3 and 4 unit housing on all restricted zone properties within the city. That represents 23,500 properties within the city are proposed for rezoning under the bylaws that are in front of you. The report on May 6th presented the proposal in detail. I'm happy to discuss and take any questions tonight as well. Between May 6th and the presentation of the bylaws tonight, so zoning bylaw amendments and amendments to the building bylaw as well. There were a few minor corrections and clarifications that have been introduced, and they're discussed in the report. I'm happy to speak to those as well. So it is, as I just said, it's a very significant item, quite a short report on a significant item.
Thank you very much. Any questions from council? We had a pretty fulsome discussion previously. Councillor Gessenmark, then, any questions?
I'd like to move zoning amendment bylaw 2024, number 4500.223, amendments to implement the increasing housing options in provincial small-scale multi-unit housing legislation, passed first reading.
Seconded, Councillor Hemmings. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries.
I'd like to move zoning amendment bylaw number 2024, number 4500.223, pass second reading.
Seconded, Councillor Armstrong. Any discussion? Not seeing any. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries.
I'd like to move zoning amendment bylaw 2024 number 4500.223 pass third reading.
Seconded, Councillor Hemmings. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. The next is building bylaw 2016 number 7224. Councillor Gesselberg.
Move building amendment bylaw 2024 number 7224.07. Amendments to implement the increasing housing options and provincial small-scale multi-housing legislation pass first reading.
Seconded, Councillor Hemmings. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries.
I'd like to move building amendment bylaw 2024 number 7224.07 pass second reading.
Seconded, Councillor Armstrong. Any discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries.
I'd like to move building amendment bylaw 2024 number 7224.07 pass third reading.
Seconded, Councillor Hemmings. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. We're on to item 13, bylaws. The first one is council procedure bylaw, amendment to bylaw 2024 number 7272.04. Councillor Gesselberg.
I'd like to move council procedure bylaw amendment bylaw 2024 number 727204, a bylaw to include amendments resulting from Bill 44 as it relates to public hearings and other housekeeping amendments be adopted.
Seconded, Councillor Hemmings. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. 13B, development procedures and notification bylaw 2024 number 7375. Councillor Gesselberg.
I'd like to move that development procedures and notification bylaw 2024 number 7375 to establish development notification procedures be adopted.
Seconded, Councillor Armstrong. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. The next is C, zoning amendment bylaw 2023 number 4500.215. Councillor Gesselberg.
I'd like to move that zoning amendment bylaw 2023 number 4500.215 to rezone 1100 Cedar Road, 1505 and 1605 Fielding Road, and 1750 Regina Way from Rural Resource AR1 and Parks Recreation Culture 1, PRC 1, to Steep Slope Residential R10, Highway Industrial 1, Light Industrial L2, and Comprehensive Development District Zone 13 be adopted.
Seconded, Councillor Armstrong. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Sorry, Councillor Brown, you're opposed. And Councillor Gesselberg. 2 opposed. Motion carries. Thank you. We have no notices of motion. Under other business, Councillor Perino, please. Your Perino, Councillor Perino, your motion read pickleball courts.
That's right. Your Worship, shall I have to put on the floor first and then speak to it?
Go ahead and move it.
You're moving the motion. You have a second?
Please.
Seconded, Councillor Gesselberg, please.
If I could speak to it, thank you so much. I think, first of all, I want to say we've talked about this quite a bit, and that's why I'm asking for a report about new pickleball courts at Bevan Park, and particularly to reduce the impact of this particular game at the Beaufort Park courts. You know, it's something that we need to consider. I want to say, first of all, that both tennis and pickleball are fantastic sports, and we want to encourage this for our community to get involved and play these sports and keep healthy. But I think there's one thing that we've learned, that both tennis and pickleball need to have particular type of courts, and pickleball in particular needs to be far away from any kind of residential development, and that's why we need to move them either to Bevan Park or to some other area that is away from residential homes. And this is not, it's something that's important because we were the ones that agreed to move this to Beaufort Park, and it's been very difficult for the neighborhood to have to deal with, and they deal with it every day that the weather's decent and people are out playing. So what I would like to ask is that staff do provide a report and update us on what is happening, what the options are to reduce the impact at Beaufort, and what we can look forward to, when we can look forward to hearing more about this, because I think it's another summer for this neighborhood would be asking a great deal.
All right, thank you. Any other speakers? Councillor Hemmons.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm on the fence about this. Completely respecting why Councillor Perino has brought it forward, I just think we're opening the door to having every pickleball court which is in an area of residential ask for the same kind of mitigation efforts to reducing the impact of the courts. So I'd be curious to hear from my colleagues on this. I completely agree. An update on the Bedford Park pickleball courts would be great, but I'm cautious about setting a precedent for a single location when it comes to pickleball, because as Councillor Perino noted, it is very contentious.
Thank you. Mr. Harding, any comment? How many other pickleball courts do we have in residential areas?
We're talking about that in Mopper. Other than Beaufort, we have the two at Edmund and then the E that are proposed. Just as going to do an update on that. Council did provide $518,000 for us to build pickleball courts this year once they're built, to remove the ones at Beaufort. That tender, it's a design build, that tender closed, and we hope to award that tender later this week or early next week. So they get started this summer to have those built. As Council Perino mentioned, it won't be until later in the season. We have a couple of courts at the very far end. For North Mount, we have a couple in Archer Bay, and I'm probably missing a couple. Protection on this, protection on. So we only have about 5 or 6 in other locations. Beaufort has a concentration of 6 courts, which is one of the issues. The other locations have either 1 and at most 2.
Thank you, Councillor Hemmons. Further question?
Are staff comfortable investigating pickleball remediation in one court, or 6 courts at Beaufort, or is that a comfortable proposition, or should we be doing this for all courts?
Your Worship, Councillor Hemmons, we're definitely in a situation that everyone in North America has to deal with. So as you've probably seen on the news, there's some areas that close their courts, and Victoria has closed their courts. Other municipalities are requiring a soccer ball and a padded paddle. So there's a variety of things we can bring back to council considerations of the communities have done and mitigation in the different courts. Our main goal is what Councillor Perino mentioned, is building new courts at a location like that, where we don't allow housing or other larger parks where we have housing nearby.
Thank you. I think we're opening ourselves to varying chronological on this issue. We're just looking at a single court, but all support.
Thank you. In order, Councillors Armstrong, Brown, and Thorpe.
Yeah, I'll be in support of this because those are the only ones we're getting complaints of. None of the other ones, I've never got one complaint yet. And maybe there was others, but those are the only ones. So I also think it's important because that's why we did vote to put in it so we could close Beaufort. So, and I understand from Mr. Harding that he will be talking about mitigation efforts as well, which could be the softballs, etc. So that will all form part of the strategy, which could also impact the other courts that are in the areas.
Thank you. Councillor Brown.
Thanks, Your Worship. I'm a little bit confused because when I read this motion, it's very specific, and I'm just wondering if I'm missing something. Did Mr. Harding just provide the update? So that's, I guess, and then Councillor Hemmons is talking about all the courts, so I'm just looking for clarification if it's there, what we would be voting on and what the expected product is.
Mr. Harding or Councillor Perino can provide a little illumination for Councillor Brown.
Oh, well, Your Worship, you can see that in the motion. It actually talks about reducing the impact on Beaufort Park courts because exactly as Mr. Harding said, it has 6 courts, and that's the problem, right? Being right up against a residential area with 6 courts in play from early in the morning until often late at night, that's the issue. That's why I mentioned that particular area. And I appreciate Councillor Brown's comments because Mr. Harding did give us some update, but he has not talked about possible ways to minimize the impact. And that's what we're hoping to get a report about.
Thank you for the clarification.
Thank you. Councillor Thorpe.
Thank you, Your Worship. Through you, I share the concerns expressed by Councillor Hammonds and also the comments, I think, of Councillor Brown. First of all, this is already in the works in terms of a report and update on Bevan Park, and we've got a flavor of that just tonight. And I really struggle with identifying one particular location. If it was a more general motion or request, then I would probably quite easily support it. I don't think I can in this format. So I'll leave it at that. Thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Smith.
Thank you. I am in favor of this just because we've had two quasi-council decision points on closing the Beaufort courts on 2 occasions for holidays, and at that time a few of us expressed concerns that we didn't have an actual process around that, and it was sort of an on-the-fly thing. So if this is an opportunity to frame the decision-making process for that, then I think this is a good step.
Thank you very much. Motion's on the floor. I'm not seeing any other speakers. All those in favor? Everybody say Councillor Thorpe. Opposed? Thank you very much. Question period, Ms. Curry?
Just the item of correspondence, Your Worship, was there?
Oh, sorry, yes, the second piece of correspondence, which is just information. That's my letter to the Honorable Sean Fraser and his reply of May 17th. We have a question from Mr. Pluta relating to political signage. Mr. Pluta.
Thank you, Leonard. My name is Frank Pluta. I live here in Nanaimo. And we recently had a community town hall meeting, which went very well, and I just want to thank Cheryl Armstrong for attending. And I think if you check with her, that was a really good program, and there was a lot for people to learn. Ian also expresses regrets he was been elsewhere, but we've been asked for a little more of council to attend a community event that's asking questions about provincial legislation, what's going on here in town.
You have a question?
Yes. Well, I want to throw the question out because at the last election, which I ran in, we had a briefing session with Cheryl Gerby about the do's and don'ts and whatnots for the election. And during that time, we were significantly impressed by the limitations of the signs to 2x3, and I think you can experience that too. That being said, it was just a few days later when the big 4x8 signs went up along the highway. That was never mentioned to us. We were never made aware that that was the exception to the rule. And so when I called City Hall, they said, oh yeah, well that belongs to highway, so that's different. But we were never informed of that, which should have been a proper way to inform us, since everything else and was made explicit. We made it to 6 square feet per sign. So I'm glad to see this coming through, but unfortunately, when you go to the notes from the council,
there is a question period, isn't there, Mr. It's a question period. It's not tell council what we already know period, please.
Okay. Well, the question is, it's more a request that they are very clear that it's linked to the proper Ministry of Transportation guidelines, because it's not the way it is in the council meeting notes.
Sorry, I'm not sure I heard that.
In the Ministry of Transportation slopes over the corridor,
yes,
there is the exception.
It's not that they're an exception, they're a separate jurisdiction. We have no jurisdiction over highways.
Correct.
And our sign bylaw can't extend to provincial highways.
I understand. I'm saying exception to the signage policy overall for elections. And they should have been made clarified then, and I'm hoping they'll be more so in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mr. Kula, 12E.
Thank you. For Mr. Holmes' report, where he talks about the Nanaimo Reimagined, I'm assuming that this is sort of a version of the global smart 15-minute cities things that are going on. So the question sort of is a series. Is Nanaimo currently creating a digital twin of the city to monitor all the water and like literally creating a digital twin as part of their plan for the cities. That's the first part.
We're not going to have questions all night, but Mr. Sims.
It's not all night. This is brief.
Let me please let Mr. Sims, I assume, be able to answer the question.
Thanks, Your Worship. As we talked about before, we monitor our GIS system that has all of our infrastructure laid out in a digital format. And we use the GIS system to track our assets, to watch where our water flow is going and how everything is functioning, everything from traffic lights to irrigation parks to water consumption across the organization.
Okay, so since it exists, is there any potential at all in any way by either using cell phones or license plates or facial recognition or anything that the city could be potentially monitoring the movement of any of the citizens?
I think it's fair to say, without even turning to Ms. Gurry tonight, that would be a clear breach of the privacy laws that govern this province.
I didn't ask if it was a breach of the laws. I asked if there was the technical potential that could happen. It's really clear.
I think I can probably say no, and that no one at City Hall is pursuing the potential of what you suggest, sir.
Okay. It's just kind of odd that there would be the potential technology already built into some of the streetlights if there's no other real explanation why that would exist, unless you have a good one.
Mr. Sims, can you talk about the streetlights?
Streetlights are programmable, I suppose. They can program the storm to turn off or on, and what intensity, where they have that potential. If the current is not, they just turn on and off. Photo cells,
That's not what I was asking. Is there anything that could pick up sound or any technology with any of that available or potential? That's all I'm asking.
There's no such thing in the streetlights we have.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. The next is Jeff Annesley, 11A. Mr. Annesley.
Just asking quickly, during the, or any AAP process the city conducts, are the ballots or forms counted by one or multiple city staff members, and what oversight, if any, is used?
Ms. Gurry.
Thank you, Worship. So there is no machine used for the AP. It is counted by myself, and I'm allowed to have legislative services staff assist me there to count. And the reason there's no scrutineers is because it's not a secret ballot, it has personal information on there. So it's strictly put in provincial guidelines and legislation that scrutineers are not permitted during the AP process.
Thank you very much. Before we get to the adjournment, I'm going to make a couple of remarks. Tonight we had two delegations, which I could very politely say got somewhat out of hand. The purpose of delegations is to raise issues that are important to the citizenry. It is an opportunity for them to act respectfully, to speak respectfully. It is not an opportunity for them to attack the mayor or members of council. It is not an opportunity to put on a play in a public place, as amusing as Mr. Hula may find that, and he apparently does. It is not a time to waste taxpayers' money, which pays for the presence of all of the staff here, and the renting of this room, and the recording of proceedings, and all of the staff who are preparing minutes of what occurs at these meetings. I am going to say quite carefully tonight, I have been pretty tolerant. I have let people push the rules. I have put up with the individuals who seem to take great joy in filming this process with their cameras and standing up. And if that is some attempt to intimidate council members or staff, it's not working. I suggest you learn a better type of advocacy. and stop wasting council's time and the time of the citizens of this city who have elected this council to government. If you're not happy with what happens here, I suggest strongly you organize yourselves, as some of you did. One individual, couple here in particular, you run for council and get elected. Until that time occurs, I expect people to behave like adults within council chambers, not to insult the staff of the city, to make derogatory remarks about anybody, to interrupt proceedings, and to carry on in a way that frankly reflects poorly on those who behave in that manner. Having to call police into council chambers to be able to carry on with a council meeting in 2024 in a modern liberal stable democracy is an embarrassment. And the people who behave such in that manner should be embarrassed. And you should consider your position and the impact it's having on those people who might ever consider supporting some of the things that have been put forward as gospel or truth or value in understanding the modern world, which I realize can be very oppressive. And I understand people may wish to subscribe to conspiracies, but this is not the tool of the World Economic Forum assembled here around this table or the staff who work for the city of Nanaimo. So in future, I would ask for the kind of behavior that reflects on the age of the individuals who have appeared before this council, and since none of you are children, I would ask you to act accordingly. This has been a very disappointing evening for me as the mayor of this city. I have no doubt you may well secure some press coverage, but it will not reflect well on you, and it will not reflect well on the citizens of Nanaimo. A motion for adjournment, please. Moved Councillor Hemmons, seconded Councillor Thorpe. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you particularly to staff tonight for attending